Okay, today we're going to attempt to make a primitive Nixie tube. It's not going to use any neon or any special gases, just low pressure air. And the main thing is going to see if we're able to get the vacuum to the correct level and seal it off such that it maintains its vacuum over time. Because in order to get the right glow discharge on these digits, your vacuum has to be just at the right level such that you get the proper glow on there. So let's just get started and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to start by making the electrodes for the seal down here. So as I've said in other videos, we're going to use copper on the outside. We're going to spot weld a tiny piece of nickel to the end of the copper. Then we're going to have a piece of tungsten, another piece of nickel, and then our inside electrode. But we're going to do it different this time, and the inside electrode is just going to be a piece of nickel wire, so we don't even need this extra little piece right here. So I am going to take the copper, bend it like that, and I'm going to spot weld this right here using a piece of nickel, and then spot weld nickel to the end of these as well. So what I'm going to do for the electrodes themselves is I think I'm just going to have the wire that spot welds onto here be the actual thing that's bent into the shape of the electrodes. So this is some nickel wire right here, and I'm just going to cut off long enough lengths such that it can be bent into the shape of the numbers, and then after we get this sealed up, we'll bend them into the correct shape. Okay, I think that went good. Okay, so that's what the finished electrode assembly looks like. Just gotta seal it in some glass. Okay, so for the seal, we're using 3 seals in there. So we're gonna have to use thicker glass, or larger glass than usual for that. Now just got to flare that and bend the end and we can seal it. Okay, just gotta flatten this end a little bit. Okay, gotta prepare the tungsten for sealing. So we have to make an oxide coating on the tungsten to get it to seal correctly to the glass. But it also can't be too thick or else the oxide coating could detach from the tungsten and leave like a hollow space between the tungsten wire and the glass. So we have to be careful with how we make the oxide coating. Okay, that's usually all it takes. I'm going to clean that off with some alcohol to get rid of any weakly adhered oxide coating, and then we can seal that in the glass. Gonna have to move some of the wires down here. They're a little crooked, but that's basically how this little thing works. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like. So now we're gonna try to seal it off. Okay, I'm going to let that cool, and then I'll take a look at the color of the seals, but they don't quite look like they're going to turn out correctly, so I'm probably going to have to reheat it again. So here's the finished seal. The seal color is okay. It's not the best I've been able to do, but I hope that it will work since this is a gas type tube. Hopefully the leak rate will be slow enough if there is a leak that it won't be too much of an issue. Okay, so for the top seal, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use a seal from a previous project that is ugly, but the color of the tungsten looks good. So that's going to be the top seal. So for now we have to figure out the envelope. I just have this offcut of glass right here. And this is the space we have to work with. Not very much. And I'm just going to pick a length and cut off this end bit right here. And then I think seal on an evacuation step. Okay, so that break didn't turn out very clean because I didn't have the length to be able to pull when I broke it. So I'm going to nibble at that and try to get a clean end right there. And when we heat that up with the flame, that jagged edge will go away. Okay, so I just cut and sealed off a little bit of tubing, and I'm just going to see if I still have what it takes to flare the end without the drill. So the drill is a better option. I haven't done that by hand for a while. It's pretty ugly. So now we're going to try to seal that onto the side of the envelope. Okay, gonna have to seal that better than that and puff this out a little bit more so there's less stress. Okay. That should be good now. Okay, so now we come to the fun part. We get to decide how our digits look like. And you know, we have two options. We can do it really goofy and just make them really out of proportion, really long and thin. Or what we could do is we could just make them smaller, but they'll have the correct proportions. And not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going to try to make them as big as possible, but not go to the extreme, you know, of them being so long and skinny. But I think I'll maybe make them about this tall, maybe about halfway up the tube. And then we have to figure out where we're going to put the anode. I think just going to put it straight in the back, just like a wire in the back. I do have some mesh I could put in there, but I'm not quite sure how it will act in the vacuum. Okay, so let's get bending with this. I think I'm going to diverge from my plans a little bit. I think I'm going to do 0, 1, 2 instead of 1, 2, 3. There's our 0. I'm just going to spot weld that. Had a little bit of a welding mishap, but that's okay. It's just going to look a little ugly for this. Okay, I think I am going to weld a little straight piece on the bottom there. Might as well. Okay, so I did that one better because I wasn't filming that time. There's our 1. Okay, let's go for the 2. I'm going to weld a little straight piece right there as well so it's more proportional. Okay, I think that's the way they're going to be. I'm going to clean them off with brake cleaner, and then we'll try to seal them in. Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, we'll let that cool and take a look at it. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. The nickel got oxidized, but I'm hoping that won't hurt us too bad. So now we got to design the anode. And I think I'm just going to have like a wire going down there for that. Maybe like just a loop of wire. Because I don't really know how much of an anode I need for this. I know that they fully enclose Nixie tubes in mesh for some of them. But I'm hoping I'll be able to get away with just a piece of wire or a loop of wire with this. Okay, so I've changed my mind yet again. I think what I'm going to do is a zigzag. So I'm just going to take this nickel wire and bend it back and forth a whole bunch. And place that at the back of the tube, and that's going to be my anode. Just welding the anode onto the anode feed through. Okay, so here's the anode. Just gonna do something like that. Okay, going for the top joint. Okay, let's let that cool and we'll check it for leaks. Okay, so I've got the high voltage supply hooked up and the tube pumping, and we're going to check for leaks now. Uh-oh. Okay, we got one right there. And one right there. Okay, let's fix that. Okay, so I just reheated this joint and moved it around a little bit. And let's see if we still have any leaks. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to heat this up with the torch and let it pump under high vacuum for a while just to degas it or get rid of any oils inside there. And then I'm going to lower the pressure and see if we're able to get it to work as a glow tube. Okay, just gonna let it pump for a while. Okay, so it's been pumping for a while, and I have a high voltage supply hooked up. It is a small neon sign transformer which puts out 3,000 volts, and I just have it ballasted with a 40-watt light bulb. And this tube's not going to need 3,000 volts, but I'm just relying on the internal impedance of the transformer to limit the voltage down to whatever this tube's going to run at. And with that ballast, not much current will pass, so that should work out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the air valve and let some air into here while it's running, and see if we're able to get a discharge out of this. Wow, look at that. Wow. Oh my god, it's working. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna seal it off and see what happens. Wow, look at that. I'm gonna try to leave as much evacuation stem as possible so I can reseal it if something goes wrong. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so the tube's all sealed off. Let's see if it survived. Oh, look at that. See if I can get you guys a closer look. Oh, that's so awesome. Wow, that seems to have been a success. Don't really know how it will fare long term, but assuming the seals are good, it should not leak up for a while. Well, that's pretty much it for now. Thank you for watching.